think that's it. There he is. You guys ready? Let's pull it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Hey! And JB's on there!
600!
600! Yes! Yay! 600 mile time. That would be just. So here we are, back with the real supercharger. Okay, we are on the test track.
I'd recommend putting your head on the headrest.
Okay.
There he's ready.
Nope. Yep. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that never gets old either. We have the post-study production cars here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, oh yeah, you watch it.
Well, why is he gonna throw it?
I don't know, but we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
He just used a sledgehammer. What?
Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
I'm Eric, otherwise known as Derek, here in Shanghai at Gigafactory 3.
Ballapalooza. It's like tricks.
3, 2, 1.
Will it wipe is the big question of the day.
Will it wipe?
Generic cornflakes.
Whoa! It's raining cornflakes! Oh. This is trippy. Look, there's nothing here. Okay.
How about now?
How about now?
Anyone? Anyone?
Hold on. I'm waiting.
Hit Amy.
Okay, so it's taking the audio from this camera, so it's not gonna sound amazing. Maybe I'll sit up a little bit. A little rusty. Sorry, folks.
But we're back, I guess. Huh? Yeah.
It's been like, okay, I gotta take this out. Sorry, I was making sure we had audio because it says we should have audio, but clearly we don't. Anyway, welcome. For those of you that don't know,
I'm David. This
I'm
is Eric.
Eric.
Together we are Derek. And we talk about Teslas and, I guess, Rivian and stuff.
We've had a lot of life changes. We might need to get up yeah, sorry for the little bit of fan noise. That's actually from the computer that's back there because I have to use the camera. Although I might be able to throw...
Can you plug a microphone into that?
I think so, actually.
Maybe when we're starting the.
Hold on.
Okay.
You just keep talking for a second.
Anyway.
Tell everyone about us.
Okay.
And while we're here.
Yeah, so I guess it's been a while. We have been busy the last couple of months.
Super busy.
Busy because we have taken delivery of 2 EVs in the last, month or two.
And a child.
And a child, yes. So it's been a busy couple of months since we last did our live stream. But basically, our exchange student, Leonard, arrived from Germany back in August. And he started high school here, and he is with us for, the entire school year, so probably leaving in May or June. We took delivery of then a Rivian a few days after he arrived, and we have a Rivian R1T, which is a really nice truck, and it's the first non-Tesla EV we've bought.
Ever owned.
Yes. And then we finally took delivery, after 600 plus days, we finally took delivery of our Model X 2022. So,
okay.
The garage is full now.
Bear with us for 1 second. Now, we already have everything with the audio hooked up so that we can watch the live stream when it happens. I'm going to just try one sound, extra source. So give me 1 second. I'm going to try to add that real quick. Audio, add source, bear with me. Add a new source. Type in Razor, please. ER. Thank you. Now let's see, device.
So, trying to back up microphone that's maybe a little bit better than the microphone on the camera. Or our other ones which aren't.
Okay, how does that microphone sound?
Oh,
Yeah, sorry,
so
the echo was, I turned it off. How does that audio sound now?
Anyone? Oh, der Junge, ja.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
It's a boy.
How does that audio sound? Low? I can fix that. That's easy. Okay. I can fix that. Okay. Sorry, but at least this way you shouldn't get any of like that humming.
Okay.
Hello. Hello? Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hold this here.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so that sounds a little better.
It's good to see a lot of the regulars back. It's been a while.
Yes, I am super excited to see you all. Yes, it has been too long. I agree. Okay.
We've also been busy though on Sunday nights watching the House of the Dragon.
Yes.
So we didn't want to cut into other people's Houses of the Dragon viewing.
Yes.
So
I'm just gonna hold the mic in front of whoever's talking. Sorry. Yes.
as you can see, Kit and Layden are here as well, joining us once more on our live stream.
The dog cam, though, we had some changes in here. So the dog cam is a little messed up.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the bed is now under the dog cam, so we have no dog cam today. Much apologies.
But what are we here for today?
Oh, duh.
I don't know if we've mentioned that.
Q3 financials. And so that's already kind of been exposed.
Yeah,
I mean,
they came out like, what, 90 minutes ago, I think. They released the deck, and you can take a look at it. It looks like some pretty good numbers. So, of course, the better the numbers are, the worse the stock price performs.
so it's down $8 right now. However, it was down 17.
Yeah, initially, like, it jumped up right after the market closed. $17. So if it's only down 8, that's not, I mean, it could be worse.
Okay, so time out 1 second while I add the source into the other thing. Sorry, real quick. Okay, so we are back.
Where's that microphone at?
That is tied to this.
Oh, okay. We've got so many microphones.
Got a lot of microphones.
Okay. Anyhow.
Okay, sorry, I had to add another mic because source. This stuff is confusing, and I don't know why this isn't working because it worked last time and literally hasn't been used in like 2 months, and now all of a sudden it's not working.
Is this mute button?
That's for this.
Oh, okay. Oh, well.
I don't know. It should just work, but technology never works like you need it to. So anyway, super excited. Let's go through the shareholder deck. Now, as you can see, we are down $8 after hours. Are we
Yeah.
surprised?
Not really. It usually happens every time we have good news.
Yep.
So,
Big things here. So the EPS was originally forecasted at 1.03 and came in at 1.05. So they beat the EPS. So, of course, anytime Tesla beats the EPS, the stock has to go down because that's just how things work. Other things to consider: operating cash flow, 3.3 billion. 2.2 billion increase in cash and marketable securities in Q3. We're over $21 billion in cash and cash equivalents right now. So that's pretty amazing. Profitability, 17% margin. Love it. Record energy storage deployment of 2.1 gigawatt hours. So I can't clap, but congratulations, Team Tesla. Let's get to the juicy stuff. We want to see...
go back up.
Oh.
See right there, look at the number of Model S and X.
Yeah, so S and X has increased a lot, but 3 and Y increased 100,000 vehicles
Yeah, that's like
over Q2.
Yeah, that's like over 1,000 vehicles per day extra.
That's probably about a 40% increase over the first quarter. So, love to see it. Hopefully everything is starting to kind of work out with how things are operating with supply chains and stuff like that. Other big things, supercharger stations.
Yeah, huge increase in the size
300
of supercharger.
almost.
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
But over the course, over the past year, over 32%.
Yep. So that's wonderful. We've seen more store and service locations. That increased quite a significant amount as well, I would say. It's been kind of stagnant, so we'd love to see that. Makes for a better user experience, which makes everybody else happy. Solar deployed went down, but storage deployed almost doubled. So that's a huge increase, 62%.
That's year over year for that one.
Year over year.
Yeah, so that's a huge increase. They definitely have gotten their battery production up.
They figured out any issues in that chain right there. Other things. So we can see here that Berlin and Texas capacity over 250,000 apiece.
That's what's planned, yeah, and they're tooling up for the Cybertruck.
Yes, and so hopefully, I really want to hear some news about Cybertruck today, because from what I have gathered and heard, the tooling for the Cybertruck, that big giant press, which is like the last thing they're waiting on, is actually in Texas right now. So it is on its way to Austin and to be installed anytime now. And that is probably one of the biggest holdups, is that giant press. So we are so close, we can almost taste the Cybertruck. Other things, let's see. They did say while availability of components posed less of an issue in the quarter, vehicle transportation capacity became increasingly challenging. We've noticed this before. They ran out of trucks, so Tesla started buying trucks and building them themselves, or carriers.
And they have a graph in there showing, the steep spike and then drops, and steep spike drop, and now they're doing more evenly shaped parabolas. So, parabolas, that's something we learned in Algebra 2.
It is. Let's see, what else is there? The total number of 4680 cells.
The mother function.
The total number of 4680 cells produced increased 3x in Q3. Now, I assume it was very low to begin with, but a 3x increase is definitely welcomed. And initial Tesla Semi deliveries are scheduled to begin, I believe, December 1st is what I read online.
Yep, they're beginning.
So that is right around the corner, and that can only mean one thing. If Tesla Semi is getting ready to deliver, that means they can start putting some resources, more resources, to the
Roadster.
There we go. And that is what we all really want to see.
Because it's only been like 5 years.
Yeah,
so,
only 5 years.
So hopefully they'll be able to finish up development on that.
I would love to see Roadster change to early production. Yeah. That would be very nice.
Or tooling.
Let's see.
Then again, they might not, I don't know, maybe it will be hand built. Who knows? Maybe they won't have like a tooling.
I don't know how they can hand build them for $250,000. But TBD.
With robot hands.
Shanghai has absolutely been huge in saving Tesla during a lot of these times, said after a production slowdown in Q2, Q3 production rate in Shanghai surpassed previously quarter records. Factory in Shanghai remains our main export hub, supplying vehicles to most markets outside of North America, including you, Australia. Congratulations. They're coming. Model Ys. I think they've already started, but a lot more should be coming. And then Berlin, strong production rate improvement, more than 2,000 vehicles in a single week using 2170 cells. I'm sure that's going to rapidly increase once they can start using 4680s like the Austin Model Ys.
Some of the Austin Model Ys.
Some, correct. That is true. Not all of them have 4680s. Let's see. They hosted second AI day. We did watch that. It was pretty interesting, but a lot of it went over pretty much 90% of people's heads, I would say.
It was very long.
That too. At the end of Q3, 160,000 Tesla drivers have access to FSD beta, and we are not one of them.
Yes, with it, we have 3 Teslas in the garage currently. One of them, we only have basic autopilot. The other one, 2017, we purchased full self-driving, had the cameras upgraded, found out they didn't put in all the right cameras, so we're still waiting for the beta on that car. The other car, the new Model X 2022, it should have full self-driving beta. We're just waiting for it to turn on.
Yep. So hopefully we get that soon. Oh, and then real quick, somebody said expansion in Nevada.
Oh,
yes, that was up
finally.
here too. Sorry. Where was that? Or did I not get to it? Maybe I didn't get to it yet.
That's good because
Anyway,
they built it. It's been it's like 2016 when they first built the
we were at
Gigafactory
that
there.
party.
We went to the grand opening there, but they haven't. They expanded a little bit after that, but they never built it up to its full capacity. So hopefully they're going to be expanding it.
Yep. And then let's see. Battery, powertrain, everything's going well with the challenge of making such large castings, but that does eliminate 170 components. So the castings are a huge, huge cost savings as well as structural savings too. As far as repairing after an accident, I don't know if we truly have enough data on that quite yet, but in terms of the process at the factory, massive speed increase. And by the way, it looks like they're starting their live stream. So hold on, we're gonna mute when we switch over and just kind of follow along. We'll be in the chat though, so definitely check us out in chat if you want to talk about anything they're talking about, any questions, comments, whatever. But we are going to pass it along to them.
Really, on the production on wood, it looks Gigafactory will have achieved the milestone of 2,000 cars made in a week. So Q4 is looking extremely good with very good quality. On the production and Giga Berlin achieved the milestone rapidly of 2,000 cars made in a week. Giga Austin and Giga Texas should reach very good quality very soon. And is ramping rapidly. Yesterday, we extrapolated yesterday. Giga Austin build rate in Giga Texas should reach this milestone very soon. Production of 4680 cells yesterday tripled in Q3 extrapolated yesterday's quarter build rate. It will be we are finally gaining rapid traction on the 4680 cell. Production of 4680 cells has tripled in Q3 compared to the previous quarter. We are finally gaining rapid traction on the 4680 cells and having it be a significant portion of our production here in Texas. Output is growing in the coming months rapidly, and we expect it to start incorporating in cars and having it be. We also have our second generation of manufacturing equipment here in Texas, 4680 cells in Texas, which continues to show great progress along with our original pilot line. We also have our second generation of manufacturing equipment once again, 4680 cells in Texas, which continues to show great progress along with our original pilot line production in Fremont. The Fremont factory team once again reached record production in Q3. At the end of September, we hosted our second AI day in Fremont. Entered the first prototype of our Optimus robot. At the end of latest updates on our Dojo training computer, and a wide range of improvements of full self-driving software. Our vehicles have now driven nearly 60 miles in full self-driving beta mode, and this number continues to grow exponentially. Our goal with that AI day was recruiting, and we've seen a massive influx of world-class artificial intelligence engineers and scientists resume. So it generated a tremendous amount of interest from some of the best AI researchers in the world. I can't emphasize the importance of this enough, because I think it finally has become clear to the smartest AI technologists in the world that Tesla is among the very best. So, and this quarter, we expect to go to a wide release of full self-driving beta in North America. So anyone who has ordered full self-driving beta or full self-driving will have access to the FSD beta program this year, probably about a month from now. So, and then obviously anyone who buys a car and purchases a full self-driving option will immediately have that available to them. So the safety that we're seeing when the car is in FSD mode is actually significantly greater than the safety we're seeing when it is not, which is a key threshold for going to a wide beta. Let's see, with respect to demand, we've got a lot of questions about demand in recent weeks. I can't emphasize enough, we have excellent demand for Q4, and we expect to sell every car that we make for as far into the future as we can see. So the factories are running at full speed, and we're delivering every car we make and keeping operating margins strong. So we're still a very small percentage of the total vehicles on the road. Of the 2 billion cars and trucks on the road, we only have about 3.5 million. So we've got a long way to go to even reach 1% of the global fleet. Let's see, based on my based on many things, but certainly questions I get on Twitter about buybacks, and I think every one of our board members has gotten questions about buybacks. We've debated the buyback idea extensively at the board level. The board generally thinks that it makes sense to do a buyback, but we want to work through the right process to do a buyback. But it is certainly possible for us to do a buyback on the order of $5 to $10 billion, even in the downside scenario of next year. Even if next year is a very difficult year, we still have the ability to do a $5 to $10 billion buyback. This is obviously pending board review and approval. So it's likely that we'll do some meaningful buyback. So in conclusion, while the market themes revolve around the short term, it's very important to focus on the long term. I can't emphasize this enough with investors, and I think long-time investors obviously recognize this with Tesla. You have your sort of local ups and downs, but the long-term trend has been extremely good. And several years ago, I said, I think on an earnings call, that I thought it was possible for Tesla to be worth more than Apple, which was then the highest market cap company, I think, on the market. And Apple at the time, I think, was around $700 billion. And I said it required incredible execution, at least some luck, and we didn't indeed achieve that. Tesla went, in fact, far past Apple's market cap at the time. And now I'm of the opinion that we can far exceed Apple's current market cap. In fact, I see a potential path for Tesla to be worth more than Apple and Saudi Aramco combined. So now that doesn't mean it will happen, or that will be easy. In fact, I think it will be very difficult. It will require a lot of work, some very creative new products, tremendous expansion, and always some luck. But for the first time, I am seeing, I see a way for Tesla to be, let's say, roughly twice the value of Saudi Aramco. And I think that's, I haven't quite seen that yet. I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing that potential. So, I mean, we have an incredible product portfolio. I think we've got the most exciting product portfolio of any company on earth. Some of which you've heard about, some of which you haven't. We're in the final lap for CYBERTRUCK. We're building the CYBERTRUCK line here at Giga Texas, Austin, and making a lot of progress in the robotaxi platform design. And and then with respect to batteries, we're moving as fast as possible to have to achieve 1,000 gigawatt hours a year of production capacity in the United States, vertically integrated. So anode, cathode, lithium refining. We're moving at top speed to do that. So I think it's an incredibly exciting future, and really an unprecedented future. But none of this would be possible without the incredible team that we have here at Tesla. So I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of our factory employees, engineers, executives, and the whole Tesla team. You guys rock. You're the ones making it happen. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. And Zach has some opening remarks as well.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. Just to continue on Elon's theme, I just want to thank and congratulate the Tesla team for achieving record vehicle deliveries, production, and storage deployments in the third quarter. On automotive profitability, our GAAP operating margin was 17.2%, with automotive gross margin at 27.9%. Operating margin is one of our best yet, with improvements in operating leverage. However, Austin and Berlin ramp costs weighed on our margins, particularly if you compare it to Q1. Removing regulatory credits and Austin and Berlin, our operating margins would have been our strongest yet, and auto gross margin would have been nearly 30%. Note that while small and growing, each car we build in Austin and Berlin is contributing positively to profitability. We also continue to experience margin headwinds associated with macroeconomic conditions, as we've discussed at length on prior calls. In particular, raw materials, logistics, and foreign exchange was a big part of this past quarter. On energy profitability, we achieved our strongest gross profit yet for this business, driven primarily by record volumes of our Megapack and Firewall products. Our free cash flows were also a record, despite an increase in cars in transit at the end of the quarter, which has a negative impact on working capital. Specifically on cars in transit, as noted in our press release on October 2nd, we've started to experience limits on outbound logistics capacity, which we didn't anticipate. This issue is particularly present for ships from Shanghai to Europe and local trucking within certain parts of the US and Europe. Our historical operating pattern of batch building by delivery region leads to extreme concentrations of outbound logistics needs in the final weeks of each quarter. Just to put this in perspective, roughly 2/3 of our Q3 deliveries occurred in September and 1/3 in the final 2 weeks. As a result, we've begun to smooth regional builds throughout the quarter to reduce our peak needs for outbound logistics. We expect this to simplify our operations, reduce costs, and improve the experience of our customers. As we look ahead, our plans show that we're on track for the 50% annual growth in production this year, although we are tracking supply chain risks which are beyond our control. On the delivery side, we do expect to be just under 50% growth due to an increase in the cars in transit at the end of the year, as noted just above. This means that, again, you should expect a gap between production and deliveries in Q4, And those cars in transit will be delivered shortly to their customers upon arrival to their destination in Q1. Austin and Berlin ramp costs will continue to weigh on margins, although we expect the impact to be less than what we saw in Q3. And as Elon mentioned, we are continuing to build as many cars as possible while also maintaining strong operating margins. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let's go first through the shareholder questions. The first shareholder question is, given the stringent battery content and assembly requirements for consumer tax credit eligibility under the Inflation Reduction Act, can you speak to Tesla's ability to meet those thresholds in each of 2023, 2024, and 2025 with your existing and planned supply chain?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think just at a high level, I'll say we do expect to fully meet the IRA's requirements. If you want to.
Yeah, we view the passing of the Inflation Reduction Act as a significant boost towards accelerating our mission, while also scaling the battery supply chain at large in the United States. We expect Treasury to publish detailed guidance by the end of the year. Until such time, it's difficult to fully determine the eligibility criteria, but we believe Tesla is very well positioned to capture a significant share of that for solar storage and also electric vehicles.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we're going to go basically pedal to the metal as fast as humanly possible to get to 1,000 gigawatt hours a year of production in the U.S. Vertically integrated.
Thank you. Let's go to the next question. The next question is, what updates can you offer on the backlog and recent order intake trends, especially outside of the US and especially in China?
Well, it's there's definitely, China is experiencing a burst of a recession of sorts, which is property market, simply driven by property market mostly. And Europe has a recession of sorts driven by energy. The US actually isn't pretty, North America is in pretty good health, although the Fed is raising interest rates more than they should, but I think they'll eventually realize that and bring it back down again. So, demand is a little harder than it would otherwise be, but as I said earlier, we are extremely confident of a great Q4, and we anticipate continuing to grow our vehicle production, sales and deliveries by, on average, 50% a year as far into the future as we can see.
Thank you.
Actually, one caveat I should say, growing production by 50% every year, because deliveries, we're trying to smooth out the deliveries and not have this crazy delivery wave at the end of every quarter. So, in fact, we were just fundamentally running out of, there weren't enough boats, there weren't enough trains, there weren't enough car carriers to actually support the wave. Tesla got too big. So whether we like it or not, we actually have to smooth out the delivery of cars intra-quarter because there just aren't enough transportation the objects to move them around.
Thank you. The next question is, do you still expect 50% annualized growth for the foreseeable future? Is this also true specifically for the Chinese domestic market? Do you expect to need to cut vehicle prices or offer incentives in any market to sustain the demand? Or has demand remained stable, or is it even rising? Quite a few questions there.
Well, like I said, we want to sort of focus at a high level on what we think is possible here. To the best of our knowledge, we believe that Tesla will continue to grow deliveries and revenue production at a 50% or greater compound annual growth rate. There might occasionally be a year that is a little less, and then some years will be maybe a little more or a lot more. In some of our out-year planning, we see potential annual growth rates that are in excess of 50%.
Thank you. The next question is, can you tell us more about the product feature roadmap beyond new models and FSD, and especially for interior and powertrain of existing vehicle models?
Yeah. we could, but we won't. Sorry, guys, we can't like jump the gun on future product announcements.
Committed to continuous improvement.
Yeah, we obviously will continue. Yeah, there's obviously Tesla's not yet. But we'll also be committed to continuous improvement. Yeah, at Tesla, we've always been. Ask me like, when should I buy a car? I'm like, now, because we just keep improving the cars. It's always the latest Tesla. Yeah, best Tesla, the latest Tesla. So, and I'm really, yeah, the new, every now and again we do have some, big technology upgrade like Plaid. And by the way, I think the Plaid Model S and X are just the best cars on earth. Best. There's nothing even close in my opinion. Just try one. Yeah, epic.
Thank you. The next question is, we keep hearing of dire energy crisis in Germany this winter. What are Tesla's plans to combat power cuts? And will there be any delays in ramp up in production from Giga Berlin because of this?
Yeah, I can take it. I think 2 points on this question. The first is that, based upon everything that we know, we don't see this as a large risk to the company. Even if production did go down for a period of time, this is all near term. It doesn't have any impact on the long term of the company.
But we have no indication whatsoever that we will have to cut our production in Germany.
No. And we put in place backup plans, and we're working through the supply chain as well. Nearly all of our suppliers are prepared as well. So we'll see how this plays out, but it's not something that we're terribly worried about.
Thank you. And the next question is, how is production planning going for the Cybertruck? What is the initial phase 1 production target? When can we expect an update on pricing and final design?
Yeah, I mean, as Elon said earlier, we've begun facilities preparations here in Giga, Texas for Cybertruck. We're still on track to enter early production in the middle of next year. We've started our beta builds of all of the battery and existing. In a few weeks.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And that's going well. We continue ramping that through the end of next year and into 2023.
Great. Yeah, that car's gonna be sick, man. Sick. That's gonna be a Hall of Famer, next level. Sorry, it took it longer than expected, but there were a few things that got in the way, like insane global supply chain shortages and pandemics. Yeah, sure. Force majeure if there ever was one.
All right, thank you.
Of course, Tesla Semi, of course. So we'll be handing over our first production Tesla Semis to Pepsi on December 1st. I'll be there in person, and we'll begin ramping up production of the Tesla Semi, which is a max load heavy truck.
Yeah, that's a Class 8 truck.
Class 8 truck.
No sacrifice to cargo capacity.
Yeah, no sacrifice. Exactly. Very important. No sacrifice to cargo capacity. 500-mile range.
Just be clear, right? 500 miles with the cargo.
Yeah, 500 miles with the cargo on level ground. Yeah, fair. So not up. Close. But the point is, it's a long-range truck, and even with heavy cargo. And the number of times people told me, "Oh, you can't. It's impossible to make a long-range, heavy-duty Class 8 truck." And then I asked, "Well, what are your assumptions about watt-hour per kilogram and watt-hours per mile?" And they would look at me with a blank stare, and then say hydrogen. I'm like, "No, that's not the answer. I was looking for numbers." And literally. That's not a number. That's an element on the periodic table. Anyway, you obviously don't need hydrogen for heavy trucking. That's what we're trying to make here. And we'll be ramping up semi-production through next year. As like everyone knows at this point, it takes about a year to ramp up production. So we expect to see significant. We're we're tentatively aiming for 50,000 units in 2024 for Tesla Semi in North America, and obviously we'll expand beyond North America. These would sell. I don't want to say what exact prices, but they're much more than a passenger vehicle. So the 50,000 heavy trucks of this nature would be worth several Model Ys.
Thank you. The next question is, what is the progress of the 4680 cell ramp, and what factors determine whether vehicles get 2170s versus 4680 cells, and how will that change in the next year?
Yeah, ramp is going well. As Elon said, total output is up 3x quarter over quarter, and production is tracking to exceed 1,000 car sets per week this quarter, as we said last quarter. Our focus is now shifting from 100% ramp to cost and further expanding production capacity in North America, as Elon also mentioned. On the 2170 versus 4680 in our factories, we really attempt to minimize factory complexity and product changeover, while still making sure we get enough new product into the field to learn how it is performing. And that sort of mix is going to shift as 4680 scales here and the overall factory ramp proceeds in Texas.
Right. But basically, in a nutshell, 4680 ramp is growing exponentially, and yeah, it's going well. It's looking good. This
Yeah,
is going to be a very major factor in the future. There are a lot of packs up six. Yes. Like I said, our goal is to strive towards 1,000 gigawatt hours a year of annualized production in the United States alone by Tesla, not including suppliers. Suppliers would be on top of that.
we need to get 300 to 400 terawatt hours built to accomplish our goal.
Yeah, there's roughly, to transition Earth to sustainable energy, our rough calculation for both stationary and vehicles is 300 to 400,000 gigawatt hours, or 300 to 400 terawatt hours.
So when you're like 1 terawatt sounds like a lot, well, it's a lot of terawatt hours to go.
Yeah, and I should say, like, on the cathode side, the main cathode we think would probably be iron, and most of the iron, because iron can scale to very, very high tonnage, and then some nickel. The exact percentages are hard to figure out, but it's probably at least twice as much iron cathode as nickel, maybe more, and then there's the manganese wild card as well. Does that sound right to you?
Yep.
Okay.
And on that note, we're pursuing aggressively North American iron cathode supply.
Yeah.
And how, yeah, we can talk more about that at a future date.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. The next question is on the semi-truck, which we already addressed, so I'm going to skip to the next one. Can you talk about how Tesla could adjust if we were to enter a prolonged recession, including new product prioritization, investment flexibility, new factory versus factory expansion, service support infrastructure, productivity cost measures, and demand stimulation alternatives?
Well, to be frank, we're going pedal to the metal, come rain or shine. So we are not reducing our production in any meaningful way, recession or not recession. So
It's the 1% point you made.
yeah, exactly. So everyone, I think the public at large realizes that the world's moving towards electric vehicles, and that it's foolish to actually buy a new gasoline car at this point, because the residual value of that gasoline car is going to be very low. So, so I think we happen to be in a very good spot. That I wouldn't say it's recession-proof, but it's certainly recession resilient. Because basically the Earth has, the people of Earth have, in large part, made the decision to move away from gasoline cars to electric cars. And then in transitioning electricity generation to sustainable, you need solar and wind with a stationary battery pack to buffer the power. So you have 24/7 power because the wind doesn't blow all the time and the sun doesn't shine all the time. So that also is, we actually see the energy storage business, stationary storage, growing more like, I don't know, 150 to 200% a year. So faster than cars by a lot.
Yeah, sorry, just to add, before you jump in, Martin. I mean, just to echo Elon's point, I mean, I think, where our cash balance is, what our forecasted cash generation is, where our margins are as a company, I mean, we can withstand quite a lot of downside before we would have to dig into our capital plans, supercharger expansion, product lineup. So, the business has done quite well over the last handful of quarters. And this is a real opportunity, I think, for the company to press forward in the most aggressive way, as Elon is mentioning.
Yeah, we try to model out, like, let's say 2023 is a brutal recession year. Even then, we generate meaningful cash. Once you get out of that 2024 plus, it's insane.
Great, thank you very much. And let's go to the last investor question, which is the progression from Tesla's first platform with S and X to the second platform with 3 and Y led to 50% reduction in cost of goods sold. What do you see Tesla's third platform being released, and what level of cost of goods sold reduction could you achieve?
Well, we don't talk exact dates, but this is the primary focus of our new vehicle development team, obviously. But we're at this point, we've done the engineering for Cybertruck and for Semi, and so it's obviously, you can guess what we're working on, which is the next generation vehicle, which will be probably about half the cost of the 3Y platform. It'll be smaller, to be clear, but it will, I think, swiftly exceed the production of all our other vehicles combined.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're going to take everything we learned from SX, 3Y, Cybertruck, and Semi and pour it into that platform. But we, as you've said to us many times, we're on a 2-for-1 target. So,
yeah,
that implies that trying to get to that 50% number again.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's like, what would it take to? That's exactly what Lance stripes is. What we're trying to figure is how do we make 2 cars for the amount of effort that it currently takes us to make 1 Model 3?
Yeah, effort, costs,
yeah,
efficiency, yeah, all those things. Half the loss, half the cost, half the factory floor space.
For twice the output.
And we do believe this can be done.
Yeah.
By the way, I should mention that when I said that probably that I see a path, again, extreme, very difficult path, incredible execution required, massive amount of hard work and some luck to get to where Tesla is worth as much as Apple and Saudi Aramco combined. I wasn't including Optimus.
Thank you. Let's go to analyst questions next. The first question comes from Adam Jonas from Morgan Stanley. Adam, go ahead and unmute.
Great. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Elon, would you consider vertically integrating into mining? That's my first question.
We'll do whatever we have to. Whatever the limiting factor is, we'll do. We do not artificially constrain ourselves. We don't vertically integrate just for the hell of vertically integrating. Like if there's a great supplier who's better than us, or we think at least very good, or even where the economics of comparative advantage suggests that we should use that supplier, even if we could beat them, but we could use our resources to do something else that would be more productive, then we won't insource in that case. But but if we have to go mine, we will mine.
Okay, thanks, Elon. My follow-up is, 1 terawatt hour of manufacturing in the United States, vertically integrated. I guess my question is, what would need to change with U.S. permitting laws to allow that? Kind of what would be your message to this administration or next? And do you think you could do a terawatt hour? What's the going price of that? Can you do that for under $100 billion in the States? Thanks.
Well, I think that the message to the government would be that there should be, I should say, we've actually had conversations with a number of the senior government leaders, White House, Congress, and whatnot, and the suggestion that we have is that there should be an expedited permitting process for anything which is critical to a sustainable energy future. So it doesn't make sense to put like a coal mine and a sustainable energy battery like lithium mine in the same category. Coal does not have a future, lithium does. And by the way, you can extract lithium with almost no disturbance to the local environment. So it's not like some ugly, nasty mine situation. So I would recommend expedited permitting would really be helpful. Basically, yeah, fast track environmentally. I think it sounds fast track things that are important for the environment and humanity's future on Earth. That seems logical. Okay. And the reception has been positive, so we'll see if something happens with that. I think probably on this earnings call, we're not ready to get into financial details of what it would take to get there, but what we are seeing is radical improvements as we redesign the whole supply chain and all of the elements that go into battery cell. We're figuring out dramatic efficiencies that I think will the net result of which would be that the capital required to achieve that level of output will be much less than what people think.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the next question from Colin Langan from Wells Fargo. Colin, go ahead and unmute. Colin, can you click unmute?
Oh, you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Any update on full self-driving? I think you had said a couple quarters ago it would be available by the end of the year. Is that still possible? Would it still be like a level 4 or level 5 that you're talking about? And are there any sort of regulatory hurdles you'd have to think about?
As I said earlier, we're expecting to release the full self-driving software to anyone who orders the package by the end of this year. It's a separate matter as to will it have regulatory approval. It won't have regulatory approval at that time, but the car will be able to take you from your home to your work, your friend's house, to the grocery store, without you touching the wheel. So it's looking very good.
And it would mean like level 4, level 5 kind of traditional definition you're talking about?
Well, there's a debate as like what are the interventions per mile and all those, maybe the safety interventions per mile. Like we're not saying that that's quite ready to have no one behind the wheel. It's just that you will almost never have to touch the vehicle controls. So like when I came to Giga Texas today from friend's house, I never touched any of the controls all the way in here. then there is a longer process of like what's called the March of Nines, of like how many nines of reliability do you need before you could really be comfortable saying that the car could drive with no one in it. That's there's some subjectivity as to how many nines you need, but I think we'll be pretty close to having enough nines that you can have no one in the car by the end of this year, and certainly without question whatsoever in my mind next year. And I think we'll also have enough data next year to be able to show to regulators that the car is safer, much safer than the average human.
Got it. And just as a follow-up, you mentioned in the prior questions about IRA. I mean, it sounded like you thought you could get. Can you get all of it? I mean, because my interpretation. Part of it possible? Because that seems like a pretty tough hurdle given how much has to be sourced from the US.
Yeah. So we have a cross-functional team that's looking very closely at it. As you mentioned, the sourcing threshold increases by the year. So we're looking at all options and also getting some clarification from Treasury. It's important to say that's only a fraction of the other credits. We do manufacture ourselves in the US. We manufacture the modules in the US. So that's pretty free and clear. So yes, we feel confident that we'll have a path as these incentives, as the threshold sort of increases by the year.
Yeah, we'll meet those thresholds.
Thank you. The next question comes from Colin Rush from Oppenheimer. Colin, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thanks so much, guys. You know, the operating leverage has been pretty impressive here, and I'm curious about areas where you could, invest in an incremental way, whether it's on the R&D side or on the sales side to accelerate growth or cost reduction, or should we be thinking about this level of spend on a go-forward basis and some significant operating leverage as you scale up from here?
Yeah, I mean, our operating leverage has improved quite a bit. It's the lowest this quarter, I think, ever, and by a decent amount. Our OPEX as a percentage of revenue. I mean, our forecast is that it will keep reducing. I mean, I think the way to think about it is, our total amount of operating expenses will slowly tick up as the company grows. It's very hard to keep it flat with the rapid growth of the company, but it's growing much slower. So some amount of growth there, but the top line of the business is growing so quickly. So I think there continues to be enormous opportunity to improve the overhead efficiency of the business, and we're seeing it.
Yeah.
All right, great, guys. I'll take the rest of that offline.
We are in the at least for now, quite good position of we're investing in everything we can think of to possibly invest in, and we're still generating cash. So I guess it's a pretty good place to be.
Yeah, I mean, how many R&D programs are we running in parallel right now?
People don't even know all the R&D stuff we're doing. They know some of it, but a bunch of it they don't.
I also don't think cash is a good gauge of how much R&D you're doing.
No, it isn't. Because it's like this. Like it's not like engineers are they're not generic. And so it's just like, if you spend, 5 billion or 10 billion, that will that your actual R&D or in terms of useful product ship will be proportionate to that. It's just not true. Engineers aren't coming off some assembly line like cookies or something.
Until we get Optimus coming.
Yeah, Optimus will change things. What matters is where are the most brilliant people working, and Tesla remains Tesla and SpaceX are two companies where the smartest engineers want to work.
I mean, we don't have to spend billions of dollars to invest in the future and invent the future. Engineers are also cost conscious, and we don't necessarily just burn money out the window when we're trying to do R&D. So I would stop looking at like R&D as a cash investment for how much you're doing.
Like one nickel at Tesla is frankly worth an infinite number of dollars of engineers. Well, you can have like almost an infinite number of good engineers, and they would not be able to do what one nickel at Tesla could do. You can't make it up in volume.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to the next question from George at Canaccord. George,
Hi, good afternoon, and thanks for taking my question. I think it was at your annual shareholders event where Elon mentioned that the prices of many of the materials used in your production have started to come off the boil. You know, if that continues, does that give you an opportunity to adjust prices globally after several increases? Thanks.
Well, we're looking at the prices at our prices closely. I mean, obviously, anyone can just Google what the price of, the future price of copper or steel is going to be. It's just like one Google search away, and everyone can see that the commodities on a go-forward basis are on a dropping a lot. But in electric vehicles, things like battery-grade lithium are still crazy expensive. So we've got a mixture of things where prices are dropping and things where prices are increasing.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say quarter-over-quarter, steel, aluminum has dropped anywhere between 17 to 20%. At the same time, on the battery side, the cost of shipping has come down tremendously.
Yeah.
Like last year, the cost of a container on the spot market from Shanghai got as high as $20,000.
Wow.
And now it's $3,600. It's come back to reality.
Yeah.
So we're seeing deflation on a lot of commodities, with a few exceptions, as you mentioned, on batteries.
There's more deflation than inflation.
Definitely.
And again, this is publicly available information. Anyone can just Google it. And I think Kathy Wood at ArkInvest is trying to make this point over and over again to the Fed, and the Fed is not listening because they're looking out the rearview mirror instead of looking out the front windshield.
Yeah, just add a little bit more context. So, commodity increases were the highest in Q3 that we've seen over the last 2 years. And so, when indexes change, it does take time before they flow through our financials. Yeah, there's latency.
This is why I say the Fed's decisions make sense if you're looking out through the rearview mirror, but not if you look out the front windshield. And they should look out the front windshield.
Yeah, and so at least of what we know so far, so peak on the commodity side in Q3, I say peak, hopefully it stays the peak. Hopefully it starts to come down. That there is a small amount of reduction that we're seeing going into our Q4 cost structure, from steel and aluminum primarily. But it's less than 10% of the total increases we've seen so far. So, we're optimistic here based upon what we're seeing on the indexes for some of our cost structure, that this will start to come in over time. But I just want to set expectations that there's not some windfall of cost reduction in this space coming in Q4. Maybe some as we go into next year.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see some cost reduction in 2023. I'd be surprised if we did not.
And just as a follow-up, this is for Elon. With your pending acquisition of Twitter and your stakes in SpaceX and Neuralink and Tesla, how much would the combined companies benefit from operating under a single superstructure, if at all, similar to Google or Alphabet?
It's not clear to me what the overlap is. It's not zero, but I think we're reaching. I'm not Warren Buffett. I'm not an investor. I am an engineer and manufacturing person and a technologist. So, I actually work and design and develop products. That's what I do. So it's not we're not going to have a sort of portfolio of investments or whatever. So I don't know. I don't see an obvious sort of where they could get combined under an umbrella, at least right now. So I'm excited about the Twitter situation because obviously I know that product incredibly well, and I think it's an asset that has been has sort of languished for a long time, but has incredible potential. Although obviously myself and the other investors are obviously overpaying for Twitter right now. The long-term potential for Twitter, in my view, is an order of magnitude greater than its current value.
Thank you. Let's go to the next question from Pierre Ferragu from New Street Research. Pierre, go ahead, please, and unmute.
Yes, yeah. Can you hear me, guys?
Sorry. Yeah, we can hear now.
Great. I'd love to have another update on 4680, Drew. And so last time we talked about it, it was questioned about scaling out manufacturing, and there were still a few things to get right. Is it fair to say that now you are at scale and it's just a question of logistics to get bigger? So that's question number one. And then question number two, on the kind of innovation and cost reduction and efficiency improvements kind of path that you described at the Battery Day, where that are we today, and how much time is it going to take to deliver, all the potential you outlined then?
Well, I'll take the second question first. At Battery Day, we showed a timeline out to 2026 for all of the ideas we had proposed and had, shared with everybody then. And
yeah, I'd be surprised. I think we'll do better than that.
Yeah, I mean, but just that's the rough. Just gave you all, it's on that order. It's not like a month. It's not 6 months. It's years, and we are executing on all of those different ideas pretty aggressively in parallel with the OpEx that some people think isn't enough, but we're getting it done.
I mean, I'm not turning down POs,
No, yeah,
exactly. So
yeah, or great talent. Like we find awesome engineers, we bring them into the company, and people shouldn't believe we are turning people away.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard problem, but we're solving it, and I think. We still feel confident that the 4680 will be the most competitive battery cell in the world.
And it's the whole system around it, right? It's not necessarily a specific form factor. It's the attention to detail on how to break costs out of the manufacturing process, how to remove processing steps.
And all the way down, from the mine to the cell.
Yeah, exactly.
Many steps along the way.
Yeah, and, for those who watch the YouTube videos, like our on-site cathode facility is coming together. Really excited about that, which is a part of the plan that we discussed on Battery Day.
Yeah, we're also building a lithium refinery
in Corpus Christi. Yeah. So we're making putting our money where our mouths are, and all the various efforts that we discussed on Battery Day. On the technical challenges and the ramp question, which is your first question on 4680. Look, no ramp is ever easy, even at the end when you're 80% to the end. It's still very challenging to get to the end. And that sort of leaning out of yields, the final cycle time, to achieve target. You mentioned logistics. It's not something that we're specifically focused on, I guess, but eventually could be a problem as we're talking about hundreds of gigawatt hours at different sites across the United States. But I would never sit here and say we have no challenges remaining, but we've made a lot of progress reducing technical risk in many areas. Cycle times have dramatically improved. Yield has dramatically improved. And just walking the line here in Texas, like Martin was walking it yesterday, made some comments to me. You really see the acceleration around you. And we've made a ton of simplifications moving from the Fremont factory to Texas, and it's coming to play in speed of ramp here, and of course that's on one line of many here in Texas. So it's not like factory to factory. It's a multiplication of both simplicity and scale. So yeah, we're excited about where it's headed.
Yeah, and I think once we are fully integrated, I think we still do see a path to pull a roughly $70 kilowatt hour sale. So $70 per kilowatt hour sale. Yeah. Before any incentive. Before incentive, yeah. Yep.
Thank you. And the next question comes from Tony Sacconaghi from Bernstein. Tony, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to follow up on the 4680 cells and where we are seeing them deployed today. So are those in the semis that are being delivered on December 1st? Are we seeing them in Model Ys that are being produced out of Austin? And do you anticipate 4680 being a gating factor for Cybertruck ramp later this year? And how do you balance the need for 4680 across semi, Cybertruck, and potentially Model Y in 2023? And I have a follow-up, please.
Wow, okay. Well, a semi doesn't use the 4680s. Yet. So we are making Model Ys. Some of the Model Ys coming out of Giga Texas are 4680. And I think, Drew, the car you drive around is 4680.
Yep.
Model Y.
10,000 miles.
10,000 miles. Yeah, it's pretty good.
No problems yet.
Yeah. Structural pack. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, our output at 4680 is growing exponentially. So, but it's worth bearing in mind, like, there are entire highly competitive companies that are very smart, that all they do is make battery cells. This is simply one segment of Tesla.
Yeah.
So, so it's not a total walk and talk.
No, there are challenges still ahead that we have not yet surpassed, no doubt.
We don't anticipate this being any limiting factor for Cybertruck or anything else.
Okay, thank you. And the last question comes from William Stein from Truist. Go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Great, thanks for taking my question. I guess I'll go at one that I asked last time, Elon, which is your expectation for the likelihood of commercial success in each of the three major AI endeavors, FSD, sort of as imagined without a driver, the training computer, and of course Optimus.
We'll achieve full self-driving, full autonomy. My probability of that occurring is 100%. And I think we'll, we're almost there. And then of course we got to prove it to regulators and get the regulatory approvals, which is outside of our control. But I mean, anyone who's driving full self-driving, has the full self-driving beta in the car, can see the rate of improvement. You just experience for yourself that we are in fact getting there. In fact, we almost are there. So anyway, probably achieving that 100%. The Optimus probability of that being a successful product, I think, also extremely high. Given enough time, 100%. Dojo, it's maybe more of a question mark around Dojo of like, can we be competitive with NVIDIA GPUs, even as NVIDIA continues to rapidly evolve their GPUs? So I said the jury's out on Dojo. Dojo team thinks they can outperform NVIDIA for neural net training. But the jury's out, and we'll probably know, I don't know, next year if that's if that's true or not. But we think we'll probably. We think it's let's say the architecture of Dojo is the right architecture to win. It depends on how well we execute within that architecture.
Thank you very much. I think, unfortunately, it's all the time that we have today. So thank you so much for your great questions and look forward to talking to you in about 3 months from now. Thank you and have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, we're back. Hopefully you guys can hear us again.
Yes. Let me just turn this off for a second and make sure that it's not actually, it's already playing something else. Okay, so that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, as they would say, would you like to see my semi?
Wait.
Semis.
It's still doing the music. Oh no, that's sorry. Multiple audio sources. Oh yeah, don't let it. Yeah, okay.
Take out the headphone.
Okay.
Because that's messing you up. But anyway, I thought I would.
Everybody. Oh. Whoa.
Who says semis? Is that a real word? You gotta bring that real close to your face. Yeah, you gotta bring it like real close. Who says semis?
Yeah. I guess some people do.
You gotta speak real clear to that though. Okay. Anyway, Aussies say semi. Yeah, but semis, because he said semis, and it just did not sound right. Anyway, yeah, so the volume with this mic is a little low because we are having some technical difficulties, so we had to switch to this. So we're gonna put it like right in our face. Hopefully that's not blowing people out of eardrums, but this is just what we're gonna have to do until I can fix the other thing. Robert said battery powered semis. Oh my god.
What does this red light mean on your microphone? It was flashing red right here.
That means I'm peaking.
Oh, okay.
And peaking is not great, but it's what it is. So anyway, that was basically it. It was pretty interesting overall. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more details on the Cybertruck, obviously, but I understand why we didn't, because they're not ready for that announcement yet. David's speechless. So I didn't know if you wanted to talk.
Was that a question?
No. Anyway, what else did we hear?
They didn't really talk about the V4 superchargers at all either.
I think that was an accidental leak.
Oh, yeah.
And they are not ready for that announcement because I'm sure that's going to be an event.
But as we did mention in the chat, there's some have been found, like plans have been submitted, and there's one, I think Colorado Springs was originally submitted as a V3 supercharger, but it looks like it has resubmitted with V4 wording and hardware and diagrams and stuff like that. So we're expecting V4 going in Colorado. I mean, they're going to be in California and all over the country eventually.
Diego said Arizona.
Arizona, okay. So hopefully we'll be seeing, we'll be heading down to the one once they start construction in Colorado, and we'll take a look at it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, Tyler has a good one here. No 4680s in the semis. Yeah. That was interesting because we kind of thought all along that was going to have 4680s. So every 4680 they're producing right now is going into Model Ys for Austin, or is it being stockpiled for the Roadster?
I don't know. They won't need nearly as many for the Roadster, though. I mean, just because of the volume will be way less.
True. So hopefully they have a stockpile for Roadsters because we would really love ours.
At least one of them. Yeah.
4. That's what I would love.
That's another thing we didn't, we were chatting before their stream started, but there was rumors that the referral program might be coming back.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I honestly don't think it will. Here's my rationale. We've heard of it, rumors of it coming back now since it ended, and nothing's happened. But also, I don't think the stock price would reflect having a referral program very well, because that can be signs of a demand problem.
Yeah, right now though they still have like years of orders out there.
Yeah.
So do they need one? And there was talk back during COVID about them bringing the referral program back just to have owners offer to use their cars for test drives. And I don't know. I don't know if
not a great time to doing that during COVID.
and they were also talking about shutting down some of the Tesla galleries and stuff like that, or laying off some employees. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind if it came back, but I don't think we're going to be loaning out our cars like.
No, I mean, trust us. If anyone wants the referral program back, it is us. Because of you guys using our referral code so much, you helped us with getting so many prizes, wheels, Powerwalls, next gen roadsters eventually. So it's like we really appreciate you guys. Don't take this the wrong way. But I don't foresee it really coming back because the market is going to take that as a demand problem, and that is going to cause chaos with the stock
So it'll
price.
be interesting to see. We'll keep our eye on that, and if it does come back, we'll be sure to discuss it. Yeah.
And I've also I have a lot of internals. I don't know how much I can say. I have a lot of internals at Tesla, and I've heard a lot of different things. Some saying, "Oh, there's been some talk about the referral program," and then I'll hear saying, "Oh, it's dead in the water." So personally, I don't think it's gonna come back. But I think if it does come back, if anything, the best prize is probably gonna be just like miles, supercharging miles, because all the prizes, to be honest, led to a hot mess for Tesla in terms of fulfillment of those prizes. I'm not ungrateful, but at the same point, there's a bunch of prizes that were supposed to be
prizes that money can't buy.
There you go. And I think we only made it to a few.
We only got one. We got all of those, earned them all, but we only got like one of them, which was the time capsule. But guess what? It didn't work because I could never get logged in.
Yeah.
So and yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to it, but in the end, I think it would be considered a con because the stock market would take that as demand problem, and that's the last thing they really need right now because they do have the demand. So there's really no reason they need to do a referral program. If they do, though, supercharging miles are something that I think most everybody would love.
And they don't all get used, so it's something
it
that
doesn't really necessarily cost them everything.
Yeah, and plus they're not paying, I don't think, the full retail value for those miles and stuff like that. So it's like it doesn't cost them as much as that. But it's definitely something that could be used. I think it would be a great incentive if they bring it back. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I mean, out of like over 1 million free supercharging miles, we probably used a couple thousand.
Yeah, we haven't used them, but we've got a lot, and we do still have the unlimited on the
2017.
That's not a referral program prize, but our 2017 still does have unlimited supercharging for life. But we got a lot of good prizes over the years. But we missed out on the Falcon Heavy launch because they only offered it once, and we weren't able to go that weekend, and they never offered another one. You'd think they would have.
Hopefully now that COVID's kind of going away, but not really, maybe they'll start it up in the future.
Maybe they'll finally bring it back so we get to race the semi. Remember that was another one.
And drive the boring machine.
Oh yeah.
I'm still looking forward to that, Elon.
Yeah.
I'll wear my burnt hair perfume / cologne when I do that. That would be fun. Some comments. What is V4? Don, that is going to be the next gen supercharger, which is supposed to be even better, faster.
Yeah, we don't know the specs yet. There's speculation it could be 350 kilowatts or more. But also, I think that's what's going to have CCS.
Yes.
So it will allow non-Tesla vehicles to charge in the United States. We know that's already common in Europe where they have CCS charging, but this would finally allow non-Tesla vehicles in the United States.
Yeah. We don't know how fast yet, though. Unfortunately, the plans were kind of just leaked, and Tesla hasn't even announced it yet. So hopefully early 2023, I would imagine they're going to need to make some announcement with plans actually physically out there in the wild. Let's see. Steven said people in Denmark, Stefan. Sorry for mispronouncing it if I did. He said some people still haven't gotten their Powerwalls from the first referral
Wow, in
program.
Europe? Yikes.
Yeah. So I mean, it just goes to show you that like, while Tesla does mean great with everything, logistics of prizes can be a nightmare.
Yeah, because like what you said earlier, we've been waiting for almost 5 years on those Roadsters, and we are, definitely eager to get those.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Powerwalls, you'd think they could have shipped some of those over there by now, but I know it might just be that they don't have well, they do install Powerwalls in Europe, so why haven't they sent a bunch of them over there?
Yeah. Hopefully soon. Let's see. Frank said didn't mention the Roadster. Probable cancellation.
It was in the
Yeah, it was in the slide deck as upcoming still. So I definitely don't think they're going to cancel it, because that is going to be Tesla's holy grail of killing all supercars, hypercars. That's going to be like a party trick for Tesla, while they probably are not going to be generating a lot of income from those Roadsters. It is going to put EVs and Tesla more on the map of, hey, you don't need a gas car to be breaking records. We can do that. And while Tesla Plaid is still crazy, Model S Plaid is absolutely nuts, Roadster is going to be next level.
Oh, wow. Check it out. Mike Ernest said his car is a 2004 Pontiac Aztec. If you remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember who drove that?
Yeah, I do. Want to cook?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad. I don't know if any of you watched that, but it was funny.
Classic.
Let's see. Robert said, "Do y'all think they'll be locally sourcing their semis?" I mean, okay, I totally went off field. I cannot say what I was thinking.
But also, Robert mentioned that the Semi is going to have a totally different kind of like mega charging or whatever.
Yes.
So I believe they're just going to have their own mega chargers. So probably installed at
Well, Pepsi already has some.
Yeah. So and we've seen them also. They are installed at in Reno.
Reno, the Gigafactory.
At the Gigafactory. So they exist, but I don't think they're going to be. You're going to see them popping up on the highways all over anytime soon. But maybe on a few select routes.
Yep. Oh, totally. Mando, another great point. Elon said, in my opinion, Elon's opinion, not mine, Tesla could exceed Apple and Amco's combined market caps in the future. Don't get me wrong, I would love that, because the stock price would be glorious.
As many of you know, since the stock split, it went up a little bit, but then it dropped back down. But that's for many, that's a buying opportunity.
Exactly. And so, like, I don't know, down after hours, we're down almost $11 right now. We're going to just kind of have to play it by ear and just see what happens. But this is nothing new. After every earnings call, literally during the earnings call, it always goes down. And for the few days after, it goes down. And then we normally go back up. So I am waiting for this to buy so that I can end up here. This is where you want to be. Yeah, right here. Okay, see all that money up there? That's where you want to be, way up here. So it's all about timing, market. It is what it is. Let's see. Pierre, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Welcome back, Pierre.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know why the alert didn't pop up. That I apologize for. Can I redo that? Let me see. Where's the alert box? It should be there.
Something to research for next time.
Great.
But yeah,
Everything is broken.
Yeah.
Oh no, there it is. Hey, okay. Did I hear it right? Will everyone automatically get FSD beta if they have the software by the end of the year? Also, nice to have you back. Thank you. We really missed you, truly. As for FSD beta, he did say by the end of the year, anyone who has purchased FSD would be eligible and be able to get FSD beta immediately. TBD.
Assuming you have the correct hardware installed.
True. Our 2017S, we still don't fully know, but we don't have FSD beta on it.
But we do have the Model X. So.
Yes. So, that actually reminded me.
Model 3 as well. So we have multiple vehicles just still waiting for it.
Yeah,
Actually, though, she
she
might not be
does
on the
have
upgrade
it.
track. Oh, she does have it.
She does have it.
She just hasn't turned it on. We need to go over there and show her how it works.
So there was a message that David posted saying I will be giving a sneak peek of the Model X wrap. That's it's yeah. Anyway, I at the end of this chat we'll probably go ahead and wrap it. She already saw it. Actually, at the end of this chat, we'll probably be wrapping up in the next like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I will be showing you guys a sneak peek of the Model X wrap. Hopefully that video will drop on Friday. It's been a busy couple 2 months. We had COVID in the house. We've just been super busy. And yeah, life has been very busy. But the new Model X wrap is so nice.
And Helmuth, he mentions getting up to 180 kilowatts. We've actually hit 183 on that on the 2017 Model S. Yeah. So it is possible. You know, when it first came out, you know, we were getting like 120, then we got up to 150, and now with those V3 superchargers, I don't think it's going to get much faster than the 180 to 183, 185, somewhere around there. But with V4, probably not going to be a difference. It's going to be limitations of the hardware, but who knows what new vehicles we'll have.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the big thing is the new ones. The Cybertruck, is that going to be something that a V4 can give it 400? I know that's far-fetched. Maybe more like 350.
Or 420.
Oh, actually, that would be good. Elon, if you're watching, do that. But I really think they're preparing for the next gen. Is it something that the 4680s will be able to take more advantage of? It'll definitely be for the best. So that's the important part. I'm very excited for V4. Diego said, I didn't approve a sneak peek. Need more meetings. Sorry, Diego. I did the meeting this morning. I didn't see you there, though. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Actually, I didn't even send Diego the photo yet.
Oh, so everyone, or all will be revealed soon.
All.
Are you going to show the whole picture?
Should I? Or should I zoom in on, like, this part? I don't think the whole picture is good. I think we need to zoom in. Sorry, this is unscripted. This is live, baby. Okay. So let's see. Who else said? Sebastian, where can we get that supercharger station? This is an actual old store display. It's not like they sell them or anything. Somebody found it by a trash can, put it on eBay, and this dude bought it.
Yeah, that was basically, they had those in the Tesla stores back before the Model 3 and Model Y came out. They needed to fill up the stores with stuff, so they had like fake superchargers. You know, it's a real supercharger that it's got the inside hardware and everything. It's just you need the other supercharger cabinets as well before it would actually allow you to supercharge.
What about like that?
I don't know.
I like that.
Do it half and half. There you go, something like that.
Okay. Okay, sorry, we got the picture ready to go. What else was there? Robert said it'd be awesome if they could max out at 420 kilowatts. Agreed. Mano said Apple and Saudi today are worth a combined 4.3 trillion. Just think about that, Tesla. What is Tesla's market cap now? I honestly haven't looked super recently. Let's look it up. Is there another question? Oh, market cap. 700 billion. They got a ways to go, but
it was higher than that. It was probably twice that.
Oh yeah, it was like 1.2 trillion, I thought. Yeah. But the other thing to think about is, like he was mentioning, Tesla is not just a car company. They are building batteries. They are doing software.
They've got the supercharger network, which will be opening up, huge. To others. But I think they're going to keep the existing stations Tesla only, because they don't really have any incentive financially from the government to upgrade them to be CCS.
But new ones.
But maybe all new ones will be V4.
Yep.
So
they have
the robot.
The Tesla bot.
Yeah.
There's so solar storage. There's so many, honestly, like billion-dollar companies, maybe even trillion-dollar companies under Tesla. So I see it. I share that long-term view. It's just a matter of time. We'll say that. Let's see. Robert said, I swung by Giga Texas the other day. That place is huge, and it was so busy there. Things are coming Tesla's way in the future. Yeah, so they are gearing up for that giant Giga Press in Austin. I've been out to Austin a few times and checked out the facility. It's amazing what they have done. And every new Gigafactory they make, it is 10 times more efficient than the previous one. So I'm really excited to see what all they can do there. Helmuth, thank you for that. If you haven't yet hit that like button, please do. Really helps out the channel. Love it. Mando said Elon is bullish. Rightfully so.
Yeah, and we did see, you know, some of the stock prices we've seen recently, or just with the whole Twitter thing that's going on. You know, we saw that several months back. So hopefully that will get all settled here soon, and then we don't have to worry about it anymore.
And I don't really want to talk about the Twitter thing because I kind of feel it's not really big news, but a lot of people like to overblow it. Elon did actually say in this call he thinks they're overpaying. So it doesn't necessarily sound like it's a done deal. But whatever, I just want it done so that we can focus on the Tesla stock price, because a lot of people are like really shorting Tesla right now because they think Elon's going to have to sell a lot of Tesla to fund the Twitter purchase. But technically, he doesn't have to sell anything anymore. So I just want it to be done with so we can focus on Tesla. That's all I want. That's all I want. Focus on the TSLA, baby. Let's see. Diego said, did you see the CyberHex wheels from Up? Yes. Look sweet. Love them. I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. We could probably end it there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Really appreciate everybody. And a huge shout out to Abstract Ocean, our channel sponsor. We have a lot of really, really cool products we've been working with them on that will be coming. So, sorry, all those new products got me so excited. I got choked up. And so definitely check them out, and using code Tesla Inventory will get you 15% off of your first purchase. But the teaser pick that everyone is still here for. Ready? Don't leave yet. Okay, we're just going to do it.
Oh my God.
That's your teaser pick. What it is, you don't know.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, but nothing blue.
Nothing blue, nothing red. That's your teaser pick. And some more confetti because we love you. So yeah, I'm very excited to show you the wrap. I think it came out great. Thoughts?
It's much better than I thought. I think I like it better than previous wraps.
Wow, you have it here first, folks. But that's basically it. We will see you guys hopefully like next weekend. We really want to get back into the live streams. I'm working towards getting back into the normal video schedule.
The thing is, what is that? That's the 30th? So yeah, we could have a special Halloween.
Wait, are we going to be in Moab?
We'll figure. I think we can probably do it in we'll see. But hopefully we've got also the
TBD.
Game of Thrones, or excuse me, the House of the Dragon, which final episode is this Sunday. So we don't want to, interrupt anyone's viewing of that on Sunday.
So we'll go ahead and take
Sometime in the future.
this coming Sunday off, and then we will be starting it back up. Definitely keep an eye out on Twitter. I will definitely try to schedule streams at like 24 hours in advance, and turn on the little bell icon so you can get notified when we do go live, so that you can come hang out, join, ask questions, and be with like-minded folk.
Yeah, and we'll go back to the old format where we try to talk about what's new in the world of Tesla. Keep it down to 1 week's worth so we can fit in all the news. It'll go a lot quicker.
Yep. And I need to figure out this whole microphone situation. So I will work on that. Anyway, though, really appreciate everybody for coming back. Sorry it has been so long, but it is so nice to be back live with you guys. I can't wait to do it again. And we will see you all in 2 weeks for a live and some videos in between. Oh, yeah, less than 2 weeks. So, yeah, there you go. Bye.